Well, certainly the audience was pretty much pumped up, and some few supporters of Shadow OG are there. Are there my supporters?
No, absolutely not. They're supporting Revenant Spark, and Revenant Spark is one of those teams that has won back-to-back officials, and they're also looking forward to name this trophy on their own name. But with the way they've been playing so far, I don't think so that's going to be possible, my friend. They need to step up right now by margin, just like Ikusol.
Yeah, Ikusol did step up, so that kind of reignites the hopes of maybe seeing Revenant X Park
14
as
points.
well. I agree. Maybe we're going to see Revenant X Park as well moving on to the same train, the same line. At least we are slowly and steadily seeing them in those last few circles rather than getting eliminated so early on. So again, that's one team, but there's another team that I personally feel might not make it up to the podium now, and I think that the struggles are really high for Bot Army Esports.
Of course.
Well, the struggles are definitely there, and Neeraj also pointed out they have a drop clash happening on the map of Senok. Let's hope they have a different drop city, or maybe they are prepared to take that 4v4 fight. But we also have to talk about yesterday's Senok. Yesterday, Gujarat Tigers did get a chicken dinner for themselves, and now they are in the top 10. If they really get one more chicken dinner, if not chicken dinner, at least a high fracking game in Senok, they can easily be in the top 5.
There's way too many teams on this. There's so many teams also being super inconsistent. So hopefully, yeah, they're able to perform. Hopefully, they're able to get the average if you are somewhere in the top 8. If you're somewhere at the bottom half of the board, though, you need a major game in your hands. Ikusol needs a chicken dinner. You mentioned a few more names like Revenant Spark. They need a chicken dinner. Bot Army Esports, in my opinion, they've still got a big chance. If they pull off a 25-pointer right now, there's a big chance even Bot Army Esports can still pull off a...
Yes, the Bot Army Esports, they have done in the past also. When they were on the struggling side, they did manage to pull off that hat trick. Bot Army is one of those teams which never give up. But the main thing is, can they handle the pressure of the audience lands? But we have also got the team card of Hero Extreme Godlike, where Jonathan with 14 finishes, Edmino still on the struggling side with just 3 finishes.
Exactly. I mean, look for Edmino. Yeah, it's been a tough tournament so far, right? Not exactly tournament. Maybe you can't say the LAN finals. Edmino's not really able to pop out the same way he did in the past couple of LAN finals, but it's completely fine, right? Hero Extreme Godlike, they're still in that contention to be at the podium or maybe even be the champion of the tournament. All they need is also a big game. Too many teams at this point need a chicken dinner, man.
Well, I agree. There's a lot of teams who need the chicken dinner, but specifically talking about the team that picked the chicken yesterday on the map of Sanok is definitely Gujarat Tigers, who've been struggling so much for the previous 2 games. But I personally feel that if, in case in this game they get a strong footing, they might recreate everything that had happened yesterday. But there's another side of the same coin, right? The momentum is not in your favor for the last few games. So it's pretty difficult for you to bring yourself back from that break.
Indeed, it is pretty difficult, right? I mean, for a lot of teams at this point, you can't say, yeah, the hopes are lost. You guys pointed out Bot Army Esports, considering they're currently sitting at the bottom. And honestly speaking, yeah, I've been mentioning a lot about the interview where they mentioned that, yes, they're not going to be giving their drop location away, but in the previous game, they gave their drop spot away to God's Reign. They backed away from military base and instead dropped completely somewhere else on the map on the northern side.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you ask me, I'm not a big fan of that. That just showcases the low confidence that the team's running with.
But I think that's a mature decision. If the drop clash is not working in your favor, why not go for the secondary drop? And they tried experimenting.
The thing is that drop clash never came into fruition in the first place.
Yeah.
Yes, they were clashing.
Here's the thing, I've been constantly talking about the fact that, yes, we want to see the Bot Army, God's Reign, drop clash happening over there. Even though they went into their secondary drop location, I'd have to say the circle kind of favored them, at least in the first or maybe the second game. But even after that, Bot Army not being able to convert those fights has been the major problem. We are seeing this team always move in those last few circles, but they're just not able to win those crucial fights when we've got those 12, 11 teams, and that's when you need to win those, because after that, you'll be entering into the places where you'll get those position points too.
But the previous game was a little bit overshadowed. Also, considering that Red Ross were not really able to perform that well. We were speaking about Red Ross from yesterday, saying that how good they've been playing so far. Yes, they're still in contention, in a decent spot in the overall standings, but the previous game was not that great.
But Wrangle also, they got 13 points. So I think one bad game is not going to hamper your performance that much if you pull off a chicken dinner after the next one. If they perform really good in the map of Senok or Weekendy and then Wrangle, I think Red Ross is good to go because they're still in the contention for the trophy. And they're doing great.
That's the main problem, right? Red Raw so far haven't really achieved a big game so far. They've just been relying on the consistent point flip that they're getting. The average point flip is actually keeping them in the race as well, in a really good spot. But here's the problem. If you
day number 2, they were being consistent ones on day 1, but now the map of Senok, the big flight blue bird is up on our screens very soon. This map is going to be so important for the players of IQ Soul. I'm just waiting for the drop clash, which Neeraj was talking about. If that happens, I don't know how they're going to handle the players of K9 Esports, because an early exit is going to hamper both IQ Soul and K9. For now, we have got the flight path, which is on the towards eastern side.
Indeed. I mean, again, this is a map of Sanhok, so people would be able to jump to their drop locations regardless of what the flight path is. And right now, we are seeing almost the same thing. K9 going at the same place. The question is, will Aiku Soul go there, or will they decide not to? Because as of now, yeah, they're going to go at the exact same place. But here's the thing. K9, they are the ones who are actually going in for a very big split. Shadow, look at where Slug is right now, dropping on the outskirts of boot camp between Paradise and boot camp. Omega has gone all the way up north towards the east of Hathin, and the east was basically dropped south of Omega. It just seems that K9 have decided not to take that fight, but there's another contest that's happening on the other end. And guess what? Reckoning Esports answering to the members of Bot Army Esports. Again, the game begins with this team losing a member. It seems, yeah, it's just a big problem. But here's one thing. Necro talked about the fact that rainforests are the area of the apes, and the apes are the ones who are prevailing against the gods of wind.
Well, this Senok is going to be pretty chaotic and fast-paced. Senok, Wind God, like you said, are already engaging against the players of Orangutan, where LeBron has been knocked out. They have to go for the revival. They have to go for the rescue mission. Even Bot Army Esports, they lost onto one of their members. But Aru is so far away from his teammates. His entire team is towards the side of Kampong, and Aru is towards the side of Bhan. What is he doing so far when his teammates need his support? As Sahil gets a knock onto AKOP.
Yeah, that's a big one coming in, but the shots being fired from his 6 as well is the big problem, as it's Versatile's Raiden who jumps into the mix as a lifeline for Orangutan and the Apes. He'll be able to get one finish, and Apes will get their revival back on. That's a big one, or a big blessing in disguise right now, but the question is, can they survive out of this? Just one shack, and it's not that pretty. If anything, it's the worst one out there. And to add on top of the injury, the salt is that there is no heals available for AK. Not a helmet, not a vest. And if I'm not wrong, is that a sniper that he's carrying as his secondary?
VXT.
You know, everything that could go wrong for AKOP is actually going wrong.
The major thing that can go wrong for AKOP and the entire team of Orangutan is the presence of Versatile. They have got 2 chicken dinners, Versatile, and they're running high on confidence. At this point, I don't see any reason for Versatile to not go for this fight. Orangutan, they might try to back off from this one, because like you said, they don't have enough resources, they don't have enough loot in their hands. So OG, this is going to be an important game for them. They have been missing the entire day. A team which could have been the contender for the trophy is really messing up on such an important day, day number 2. But we also got the plus of Team Revenant X Park, where Joker is all the way towards the side of the bridge, all by himself.
Talking about Revenant X-Park itself, right? There's some massive problems out there, but the problem are right now for Devotee. Seems like there's no Lord who's saving him. Maybe Scary George could be that one, as Beast constantly fires in a few shots, but on the left side is where Henry is, and Henry saves his team at least for now. Devotee was confirmed. Scary still alive, very disconnected from his teammate right now. Scary will be able to get that finish onto Beast, so a good answer back coming in. K9 Esports, they themselves are in a pretty spread out position, so that's not the perfect one out there. But Bot Army Esports still on that struggling phase, Shadow. Still facing those difficulties, but hold on a second. Maybe they can be multiplied exponentially. Slug out there, sees the player, and he knows that it's going in towards his own team as Henry barely survives with the nick of an HP. But guess what? They're already in the clutches of the members of K9 Esports.
Oh, they certainly are. They certainly are. K9, they have been dropped down to 9th spot. This is going to be an important fight. Bot Army Esports, who are already on the struggling side, on the 16th spot with just 25 points. Beast has already been eliminated. Ninja Boy, he needs to step up really big time because Slug is carrying the entire team on his shoulders. Ninja Boy, he needs to step up. On the other side of the map, we also have got Godlike and Metal also locking horns with each other as Simp finally stepping in and finds a confirmation onto one of the player of Metal, and Prince has also been eliminated, but Legends Nade gets a knock onto Simp, but also Henry decides to go aggressive against the players of Team K9 Esports, but the Nade Parade from the side of K9 can mark an end for Henry. Henry is also answering back with that grenade, and a pump of DBS right in the face of Ninja Boy takes him down. Bot Army Esports still on the verge of winning this particular fight, but Scary Jot has been knocked out, and Henry in a 1v2 situation will finally bite the dust. And K9 Esports, they get those finish points. They get those crucial finish points, and Bot Army Esports, they have been eliminated from the lobby. We also have Godlike Esports and Medal. Kind of a stalemate situation where Jonathan decides to go aggressive against Legend with the S12 gas. Legend bites the dust. Jonathan, seems like this man is not stopping for anyone at any cost. Sir, with the last man standing in a 1v4 situation against Hero Extreme Godlike, finds a knock onto Irvino. Can he fight the second one? That's the main question. And the answer could be no, because he's on the sliver of HP and Jonathan is already marching towards him.
Yeah, he's still marching on right now. He wants blood for his teammates. Finish out there, Savit. He'll link up, and guess what? Moves in the clutches of Johnny, and the nod says it all. The confidence is immaculate on this team, and look at what's been done right now, Shadow. Simp enters the roster, immediately goes in for a couple of finishes for his team, and his team has, again, got a long way to go right now. Only 60 points, and the lead can eventually increase even further for the top 3 out there. But we still remember the coach mentioning that all he wants is his team to be in the top 5 today, and then they can move to the first place. If things go the way how they are going right now, we might possibly see Godlike not just being in the top 5, but rather in the top 3 or maybe the top 2.
Could be possible, could be possible. And we all were talking about this. Why Zap, why not Simp? And finally Simp is coming into the map of Senok and is already performing. Out of 4, 2 finishes. In fact, 2 initial frags were created by Simp. That was a great opening. Yes, Edmino has been lost, 1 casualty, but 4 finishes, a good start. Especially when you have the center control also. I think Hero Extreme Godlike is looking promising. But we also have got few teams who are going for the late rotation, like Aiku Soul towards the side of Camp Alpha, then VXT towards the side of Dogs, then even the players of Team Just Jelly are also taking their sweet time to move inside the circle. Gujarat Tigers, they need to be the cautious ones, kid.
You know, last time I remember Gujarat Tigers were the team who immediately went towards those edges of the main island, and then were able to quickly stop Remnant X-Park from moving in. But hold on a second. Right now, they're the ones who are stopping the members of Godlike making any kind of move. Gujarat Tigers, the Bootcamp Kings. No Ash in the lobby, so no team to contest them in that area. So they can have their free reign over on the other side. But another team that have basically got a clutcher up their neck right now cannot move out in the open, as Wild Fangs have been eliminating Wind God Esports out there. The bottom 2 teams of the lobby removed so early on yet again. Bot Army with just 1. Wind God absolutely 0. Wild Fang finally catching a couple of points out in the open. We'll be having a look at what happened previously. It was again Simp. Oh my goodness, those shots were absolutely nasty.
Of course, Jonathan has been running a high on confidence since yesterday. The way he clashed against the players of Team Aiku Soul, and after that against God's Rain. This is what we were looking for. This sort of performance is needed from this particular guy, and he is delivering this. Now he has got the
Oh.
support from Simp as well. So I think Hero Extreme Godlike is looking promising to be in the top 2 like you said. But for now we also have the plus of Orangutan in the close proximity to them. But Revenant X Spark seems like the spark is completely missing from this team. The struggle which they were having in challenge season is still continuing. Joker, Sarang, Shadow, Spray God, except for that one clutch which Shadow pulled off, we haven't seen anything promising from the side of Revenant X Spark at all.
43 points only till now. That's again the big sign of concern. Though a lot of people are still the believers that Revenant X Spark can eventually make that comeback. Because everyone have witnessed that epic miracle. No one anticipated it, but yet they pulled themselves up. Since we're on the track of pulling themselves up, even just Jelly, you know, people have been questioning Jelly specifically for his IGLing. Guess what? This man goes out, brings in a few people, and boom. He's sitting on the biggest LAN stage of 2025. And it's not like the team is not performing. They are actually performing pretty decent. 54 points. And they're, guess what, around almost 30 points away from the first spot. Yeah, they can bounce back any time. Just one good game and a few more consistent ones. Hopefully Gravity can keep the gravity on his vehicle normal, because if he falls in this case, Destro is just going to confirm that finish as quickly as an eagle strikes its prey.
But the thing is, God's Train, they don't have enough throwables in their hands at this point. And the strength of God's Train has always been that nade parade, which they always do in the final circle, that rewards them with the chicken dinner as well. But for now, they are in the city of Paradise Resort, which has been their home ground since a very long time. But the next circle shift is going to determine so many things, how the rotations are going to come in. If it goes south, I think Jelly are placed perfectly. And seems like we do have a southern shift where Carnival Gaming and Team Just Jelly, they are going to find themselves in a really good spot. But one team who really do good on the map of Senok are the players of EXT.
Who are slowly and steadily moving in from the southern spots, specifically of the area around Quarry. They'll be having Wild Fangs to welcome them. Maybe just a bit left towards that Carnival Gaming as well. We talked about the team Wild Fang right now. Yes, as you said, oh no, the reaction says it all. Sends it down on his knees, and there's no one close to him who can actually get the revival in. But there are quite a few teams who are around the same vicinity. Carnival Gaming, Wild Fang, Just Jelly, and even Versatile you mentioned about this team is slowly and steadily moving up. Sensei, Trace God is spawned out, tracing the path to revival of the IGL office team. Creating that smoke wall is the name of the game as of now. But you've always got to be wary about the apes. They've got a heightened sense. They're pretty precarious whenever it comes down to the maps of Sandhawk, the jungle.
Just look at the rotation of Aiko Soul Scared.
Now I'm just looking at what Trace God is doing on the screen.
He is exactly doing what he was doing in the challenge season, carrying the entire team. But we also have got Gujarat Tigers locking horns with against the players of Carnival Gaming. Carnival Gaming once again in an early fight, in an early commotion. They need to be very careful. Gujarat Tigers, the kings of the boot camp, still have that entire control of the boot camp. Where Red Draws, they're keeping themselves on the outskirts of boot camp. Carnival Gaming is also eyeing for that control. Just Jelly, they can definitely do a third party just in case if Gujarat Tigers decide to pick a fight against the players of Carnival Gaming. Even Aiko Soul, who is coming from the southern side of the ruins, can also chime in. That could be a great possibility for Aiko Soul to accumulate those finish points.
So many teams moving all the way from down south is a big problem. But my question is, how are Aiko Soul looking to traverse through those water bodies? Those rivers are going to be their main foe. Carnival Gaming as of yet do not have the members, so they can't really gatekeep the members of Aiko Soul right now because they themselves have to watch their 6 and they're all the way out in the open, so that is a big problem. But at the same time, there's another cluster forming a bit more towards the north of Boot Camp, and that's where Revenant X Spark are going up against the members of K9. K9 yet again with a loss of one member. are at a disadvantage, but in terms of confidence, this team has been doing super solid. And guess what? They're constantly getting in those finishes as well. So the rankings, they keep on going up and down. But as of now, Sarang's crosshair is not going anywhere.
He's just trying to stop Omega, who is trying to go for the rescue mission onto Slug. But finally he strikes and Omega survives that spray which was coming from the side of Sarang. And Slug will be back on his feet. Now Revenant X-Pac Sarang needs to be a bit cautious because the circle has gone away from him.
Oh my
The circle
God.
has taken a southern shift and it is favoring the players of Team Aiku Soul, Carnival Gaming, Just Jelly. Even these three teams can also fight against each other and aim for that southern control. VXC can also go for that control because the southern side of the map does have a lot of terrain to go for that control. Wildfangs are also eyeing for that particular southern side control. We also have God's Train, Reckoning, Hero Extreme, Godlike. I don't know how they're going to traverse inside the circle because Orangutan, Gujarat Tigers and Red Ross, they have got the entire northern control.
You've got to find the timing in this case. You have to wait for the other teams to take fight and then go in for the third party, maybe even the fourth party, depending on the amount of cluster there is around you. That's going to be a big thing. Again, the Apes now slowly and steadily walking back in, banging onto the doors of Gujarat Tigers. It's going to be Orangutans up against the Tigers. Who's going to win in this one is going to be the big thing, as both of them love to hop around the area of boot camp. Specifically Wiz and AK. In the previous lineup, they always dropped onto this area. So they themselves are very well versed with what their surroundings are looking like. And in the meantime, Clutch God so pretty ready. They're sending one man a bit far away to spread out in a 1-2-1 spread, while the Apes, they're all moving together. Just one nade gets in, maybe no one, but hold on a second, hold on to that thought. Carnival Gaming right now, they're answering back. So Gujarat Tigers in a bit of a trouble right now over towards the south as well, is where Versatile are against the members of Wild Fang. And Sensei is the first one to go down. Fights happening everywhere across the board as God's Rain lock horns against Revenant X-Pac 2. Everything going south for some of the big names out there, and Wild Fangs are the first one onto the receiving end of the spectrum. Sensei confirmed as well, but hold on, Seth finds a flank, but no, could not get that knock.
But K9 Ninja Boy does get a knock onto Viper. Even Dionysus has been traded out. Hero Extreme Godlike also doing a third party on the plus of K9. Seth needs to hold in his grounds as K9 is trying to move inside the circle. Hero Extreme Godlike strikes in, strikes hard. And K9, they have been eliminated. The misery, the struggle of K9 is continuing, and they have taken a downfall in the overall ranking. Everyone is just eyeing for the control of the circle. VXT, they have the southern control. Hero Extreme Godlike coming from the eastern side. They need to be a bit cautious from the players of Wild Fangs who are out in the open. Jonathan, Simp, Punk, 7 finishes already accumulated, looking so strong. But just look at the players of Carnival Gaming right in the center of the circle.
The confidence is just absolutely immaculate. Holy smokes! The shift is just nasty, but for now Seth needs to switch up from his own position. Shots being fired from behind him. Somra just above the rock as well. Jonathan is out there. Jonathan wants to get that one knock, and he will be able to, as again the 3xM4 connects. And it's 5 finishes for the man in his own hand as Power broke his record. But guess what? It seems like he's now the only man standing, and he's the only one who can probably get something done for Godlike. The losing members, they've got 8 finishes in their pocket, but how many more can they get is the big question.
The last man from the side of Hero Extreme Godlike is Jonathan, and the last man from the side of Wild Fangs is Scout OP remaining. And both of them have to move inside the circle, but seems like Scout has been eliminated by the play zone with the last first aid remaining. But now Jonathan has to make a mad dash inside the circle, but the entire team, the entirety of VXT can stop him in his tracks.
Aru has been knocked down right now, so that's a big problem for Orangutan as well, as again the fights happen everywhere across the board. Revenant X-Pac take their own exit too. They could not take the entry into the circle whatsoever. Now Atanki out there in the blue, HP being dropped in, such a low one. He's got to pop in the first raid. There's no other opportunity for him to move in. Reckoning being eliminated too, and now Jonathan slowly makes his move. He's got one first aid remaining, but he's got the entirety of Versatile in front of him. This team has been the kryptonite of the men in yellow in front of them, but can he do it again? Nothing for him to heal himself back up. Maybe a few bandages, but that's about it. He sees Atanki out in the open. He wants the confirmation, and he will get it as well. But does he have anything more? Has he got more gas in tank remaining? He's got Raiden behind him. The ex-member of WSB, the current member of Versatile, has been immaculate in these situations. But can the king of clutches clutch this one out too? He sees Zverev and he takes the shot. He gets him down. Wizjaw's confirmation goes to Armin. Gujarat Tigers. They're still out there. They're still alive. And Vipers Nate steals that one finish away. It's only Arman remaining for Gujarat Tigers, who's all the way down in that one compound. This one man is wreaking havoc. But guess what? He's got another man who's been the MVP of every